Congratulations. Mazel tov, is that what you say when this thing finally comes out? I mean, how many pages is this bad boy, this beast?
559 pages this year, which is the longest in a little while. But there's 15 to 16 pages on every single team, and it's really a labor of love. Once I'm done with it, I get to do shows like yours, and I get to go talk to people about football. It's a lot more fun and entertaining than it is sitting in my office here, slaving away till 3 a.m. like I've been doing pretty much 7 days a week for the last several months.
Yeah, I was about to say, when do you start previewing? When is a good time to actually preview an NFL season, knowing how long it takes to build a team?
Yeah, I start in March. It's a slow build. It gets really crazy after the NFL draft and then the schedules are announced. But it's a process. As these teams are changing, in order to kind of predict the future, you have to really understand the past. And so that's why I get a lot of work done in March and April studying what these teams were. I don't buy into that. What is it? The Bill Parcellsism. You are what your record says you are. Everybody's record it can be defined by, one score wins and losses or lucky turnovers or a couple of field goals that were made that might have been missed in other years. And so I try to get rid of all the luck factors that go into teams and just get a better understanding as to who they were, what has changed since last season, coaches, players, etc., who they've been drafted, what their schedule looks like, and then who they're going to play this year and how those teams have changed. And so it definitely takes a lot of time. But if you're not thorough in the process and if you don't take time along the way, every step of the way, you're going to miss some things that might end up proving quite valuable in, this is actually why this team came out of perceivingly nowhere and nobody was expecting it, or wow, this team actually wasn't as good as their record was last year, I guess, because they're really struggling this upcoming season. So there's a lot of that you got to really take into consideration.
So how long did you hold off on doing your Dallas Cowboys preview because you thought they had to add somebody in free agency, and then you just stuck around and then you're all right, I might as well start digging on the Cowboys? How long did that take you?
Yeah, there were a few teams like that. The San Francisco 49ers were actually the last team that I did because I wasn't sure what might happen with Brandon Ayuk. Mm-hmm. The Dallas Cowboys, I also waited for a little while just seeing what they might do. Obviously, if there's any, big quarterback deals or decisions that get made that really alter some things. And there were some rewrites that we had to do along the way. But, for the Cowboys, you're absolutely right. They are a very thin roster, and they have had a lot of luck thanks to turnovers over the last 3 years. In fact, they're, I think, one of 10 teams over the last 2 decades that have been plus 10 or better in turnover margin for 3 consecutive years. And the average of those other teams that have done that prior, they only get plus 4 turnovers the next year, which would be the 2024 season for the Dallas Cowboys. And as I'm sure you know, turnovers make a colossal impact on the end result of games. I mean, turnover margin ends up dictating the way that the vast majority of games go. And not only is it probably time for them to not have as much luck on the turnover side of things, but also they lost their defensive coordinator to the Washington Commanders head coach in Dan Quinn. He brought with him some assistance, and that's going to change a lot as it relates to their defense and potentially their ability to ball hawk. I want to say they got 6 non-offensive touchdowns last season. These are touchdowns when their offense isn't even on the field. Most of them came from returning fumbles, returning interceptions, but there was a couple of punt or kick returns as well. So, this is just a team that I think has a relatively thin roster. They don't know what they want to do at quarterback long term. And some of this luck might go against them this season. So they're a team that I think definitely is ready to regress a little bit from where they were last season.
Again, all 32 teams have chapters, predictions, projections, analysis, much more sharing, again, what was learned from last season and then predicting best you can what's going to happen in 2024. It's Warren Sharp's 2024 football preview available for pre-order right now. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.